How's it going, everybody? Welcome to OP Entertainment. I'm Omar Darwish.
I'm Pratik Cherian.
And welcome to our review of episode 4 of WandaVision.
We interrupt this program.
We're going to do a full spoiler review because I think we both decided it's just a bit hard to talk about this show in the context of non-spoiler.
Especially this episode in particular. Some of the other ones, because of, blanket spoiler warning now.
Blanket spoiler warning.
All right. So some of the other episodes, because of have the sitcom nature of the episode, made it easy to discuss it in terms of spoilers and not spoilers.
Yeah.
This episode does away with we go behind the scenes. We kind of open the puzzle box. We get a lot of the answers to some of the questions that we had. I discovered that most of my theories are right, and I get a big head about it.
Yeah. A lot of people predict a lot of this stuff, but yeah, you're right. I don't want to take it away from you.
But yeah, we just get a lot of the answers, as opposed to just being in that sitcom world. We get a bit of a break from it to get it behind the scenes.
Yeah, a lot of confirmation on some things. Yeah
sure, fine.
Confirmation on some things.
I was right.
You were right, Pratik. Just talk about the beekeeper. Okay, but so overall, if you don't want this spoiled for you, I would say definitely watch this episode. It was a good episode, and it gives us a bit more of the meat of the story as far as what's going on. So if you were kind of frustrated with this, like, what's taking so long? I want to know what's going on. This does give you a bit more, or at least it lets you know what's going on a bit more.
So along those lines, because this really impacts the way I would score this episode, but when it comes to, in general, a show that has so much mystery behind it, do you like getting like a mid-season check-in to give you some answers, or would you prefer, because the way that most of these shows are structured is mystery, and then right at the very end we get all of our answers, and this is different than that, and I'm trying to decide if I like that or not.
I think this is Marvel letting everybody kind of keep their speculation down to a minimum. Like, they don't want people speculating like crazy, writing a better movie in their head or show in their head, So they're like, all right, well, let's kind of steer them a little bit as far as what's going on, I think they're just, but I really don't think we got that much in this. Like, we got confirmation on a few things, but confirmation on things that we kind of already thought was going on. You know what I mean? I don't think there was anything in this where we're like, oh wow, what?
That's true. It was a lot of eliminating the really bad theories. And there's probably something to that.
Yeah.
In general too, the other thing that I'm trying to decide if I enjoyed or not is this episode really was just like, hey, are you wondering how this fits into the regular MCU? Here's a regular MCU episode for you.
Yeah.
And on the one hand, it's nice. On the other hand, I was loving how different WandaVision was. So I'm not to take anything away from this episode, but in a way I was almost like, you know what? I didn't need the MCU check-in. Like, I would have been perfectly happy without it.
I missed living in Wanda's little dream world
and
seeing little things go wrong about it, but I think we're definitely going to get back to that. I kind of wish there was like 10 or 15 minutes more of this episode where we get to see where the sitcom world goes after this, because at the end of this episode, we're just caught up to where we were at the end of last episode. We just know a bit more now, and that's kind of frustrating to me. Like, I think I'll dock it a little bit for that. But
yeah, I think the way I kind of saw this episode is it really was like a behind the scenes.
Yeah, and it fit well. So like, it's not like I was like, wait, well, if that's that, then why is this happening? It all works. I feel like once this is something that it's not beneficial to the show right now, but when we go back and rewatch the whole series and we can like binge it, this is going to be a part where like, oh, okay, cool. Like it'll go by a bit quicker, We're not waiting a whole week to see the next chapter of this,
Like I said, this whole episode just kind of felt like them bringing us up to speed and being like, all right, here's where we are. I almost wonder if, and you kind of touched on this off camera, but if this was a movie, I feel like a lot of these scenes would have been woven into the middle of it.
Yeah.
Given that this is a TV show, I like the fact that we got this whole separate episode dedicated to the behind the scenes. I wonder if going forward, if we're going to get more of a back and forth, or if it is going to be WandaVision, behind the scenes kind of thing.
I think what we're going to get is like the next episode will cut back and forth between like the sitcom and the real world. So we get because the show's gonna take way too long if we get like a couple episodes in the sitcom world and then okay, well here's what the other people were doing during this. I think I'll get frustrated. Like I could handle that for this one episode, but if that keeps being the case, I will get frustrated.
Especially because this episode was covering like 3 episodes worth of behind the scenes, setting up who is Sword, what is this, what are they doing here. A lot of those
Which,
questions.
I mean, I guess I wouldn't mind too much if they go a few episodes and then do a recap or whatever,
Yeah.
like through the other people's perspective. But
assuming that it all comes together at the end in a satisfying way, yes. If we get that all the way through the season, then yeah, I'm going to strangle somebody.
so we get some confirmation here that this is all Wanda creating all of this. It is all her. What do you think about how we kind of talked about off camera, how I think she's definitely going to be the villain of Doctor Strange? Mm-hmm. Do you think there's any more to that now?
I still feel like she's definitely being manipulated by somebody else. Now, will that somebody else turn her evil by the end of this? Possibly. But I'm still on the fence on whether we're going to get full heel turn Wanda, especially because the first 3 episodes of this show have done such a great job at making her so likable and really letting her personality and Elizabeth Olsen as an actress's personality come out in the character.
Yeah.
That I feel like if we just got evil Wanda, in a way it would be a step back as far as character development.
But I don't think we're going to get, like, all of a sudden she's mustache twirling evil. I think she's just going to break at the end of this.
Yeah, but what does that look... And again, is that interesting from a character standpoint? What does that look like?
I hope it doesn't look like Jean Grey in The Last Stand, but I feel like it's kind of going to look like that.
I haven't seen Last Stand.
You've seen The Last Stand.
Last Stand. Yeah, sorry, I was thinking Dark Phoenix. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No. I was thinking of the other...
Same movie.
Right.
Same movie.
No, yeah, I hope not. I really do, because that was terribly done.
I honestly, I trust Marvel at this point. I was saying before this episode, and I still say it, I think this is honestly the coolest thing Marvel's done so far. Like,
I agree.
And
yeah.
like you were saying, maybe not the best, but it might be like, it's at least one of my favorite things. It's so different and cool, and like, I feel like looking back at all the MCU stuff, they kind of fit into this like mold. And so far, this doesn't. I mean, it fits, but like you kind of have to make it fit. Like, you know what I mean?
I feel like in a lot of ways, this episode was more for people not like us, where we were bought in after the first 2 episodes, and I feel like there's a lot of people that are kind of waiting, and they're like, "This is very different. I don't know if I like this." And this was kind of the episode for the people that kind of wanted the more standard Marvel fare. I love it. I loved everything about about WandaVision so far. But yeah, I feel like this is almost like to keep those people engaged and invested.
I like, though, I give Kevin Feige so much credit for doing this, though, like giving us a couple episodes where he knows people aren't gonna all jump on board with this. Like, he knows it's gonna be divisive. Whenever you do something this different, it's gonna be divisive a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So I like that he trusted enough that there's at least some fans, like, and it's not just us. I'm sure there's. I gotta look at the numbers for who's watching WandaVision, but
if we ever
like,
get numbers, because
yeah. But it seems like anyway, people aren't tuning into WandaVision like they did with Mandalorian. So
yeah, or even I don't know. Far From Home or any of like the MCU movies.
But maybe if Kevin Feige would have started this off more with an episode like the one we just got, people would be a little bit more on board with this, I think. So I like that Kevin Feige is like, I'm just going to let my records speak for me. They'll jump on eventually. This is going to be so good. I feel like WandaVision must have been a show that was pitched with the end first. Like, they kind of, when they went in to pitch this show to Kevin Feige, they probably pitched the end of the show. And there must be something crazy coming, you know what I mean? And I think that Kevin Feige trusts that the story is going to be good enough that people will all jump on by the end, at least.
Right, absolutely. At the very least, people are going to be interested and invested.
I know I am.
Yeah, same here. Anything more specific, spoilery you want to talk about?
It's not like they gave us a lot.
Yeah.
The fact that Monica Rambeau was somebody, or we know that Geraldine was somebody outside of this, and like Wanda didn't create her, is kind of cool to know. That like
we got a lot of explanations on how people and things enter this bubble.
You know what we didn't get though? So when Monica enters, she like kind of loses all her memory and is like in this role that she's playing, right? When the beekeeper enters, because he goes under, we don't really know if he's affected by it. He's affected as in his uniform turns into like a beekeeper uniform, but we don't know if that person mentally was affected by it because they don't give him any speaking lines, Right,
yeah. And actually, we don't know what happens to him either.
We don't. No, we don't. Neither. And on top of that, the sword agents have no idea what's going on in between these jump cuts.
Which was really cool.
Do you think that they saw when Wanda turns the Vision and he's dead and has the Mind Stone ripped out? Do you think that they saw that?
No, because we got to see them go to the end of the episode, right?
Yeah.
They're like, "What the heck? The episode just ended. Like, what happened?" So yeah, they don't see that. That was really cool. It goes into just adding more fuel to those fire as to speculating. Is is Vision really just a creation of Wanda's in that when she loses her concentration, she remembers the Vision that she last saw?
What are the odds that we get some like Blu-ray version of this and there's like a bunch of extras, like deleted scenes, and it's like the stuff that the sword agents could have seen?
That'd be cool.
That'd be pretty cool. Oh man. So, but going back to the like whole entering subterranean type thing, do you think that you can do that and not be affected by, like, your mind won't be affected, and that's how they're going to send in more sword agents?
I don't know. I don't think so, because we saw him go through like the shimmer, and we saw like everything else about him change. I see no reason why his mind shouldn't have changed as well.
The shimmer is literally what it's called in Annihilation.
This one gave me like while it was going on, you were talking about it reminding you of Annihilation. There were parts where they were like that scene where they're bringing in all the scientists, where it reminded me of Arrival in a way, where they're like, okay, you're like this, you're like this.
Yeah.
They clearly can't figure it out. There's all these different people coming together. It had a lot of Arrival tones to it.
I get that too. Yeah.
And I think that speaks as to how similar this is. The fact that we can compare it to all these things that are similar are like, just again speaks to how this is more of a return to what people are used to.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely not as different or out of the box, you know. Yeah.
So let me ask you this, just as far as speculation goes. When it ends, Darcy says that someone's censoring the broadcast. Do you think Wanda's censoring the broadcast, or is there some other party at play?
I think Wanda is, because we see her editing the broadcast in real time, when we're watching the episodes, you know.
We see her doing the rewind and stuff, but we don't know why is this broadcasting? Why is this going out? Who's doing that?
I still think that we are going to get like Mephisto or something, because there's just too many little nods to the devil. You know what my only thing backtracking on that would be? I don't see Disney, Mickey Mouse Disney making their first big villain for their... Granted, this wasn't supposed to be their first Disney Plus show for the MCU, but I don't see them making their first villain the devil.
Is there a safer villain in all of media than the devil, though? That's the definition of playing it safe. Who's going to be out here being like, I can't believe they made the devil the bad guy?
I just feel like if they do, they won't be able to go so devilly with him.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows what they actually do? Maybe they keep it like super sitcom-y.
Maybe we get like Nightmare or something instead of the devil, like something kind of like the devil.
That's what I said first.
Yeah, and now
I'm leaning away from that. You're leaning towards it. I don't know.
Well, I still think Mephisto could definitely be involved.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
We'll see. Talking acting real quick, just to backtrack. What did you think about the acting in this?
What's her name? Darcy?
Yeah.
Kat Dennings. I actually really like Kat Dennings, and like I like her in interviews and stuff. She's just kind of like, I don't know if they just give her annoying dialogue because that's the character at this point.
Or is that her voice?
I was gonna say, is it her voice? Her voice is really sharp. Like, it's really annoying to me.
I'll say this. When Thor first came out, I loved her, and I think most people did. And then Thor: The Dark World came out, and I couldn't stand her. And then on my rewatches of Thor, I couldn't stand her. Yeah. In this, I actually thought they did a good job of like
she served a purpose.
I really think she did a good job at. This is definitely the same character. We get that like quick wit, and we get those lighthearted moments without it being so annoying. It definitely feels like this is a character that has gone through some things, has kind of had some of the like annoying, immature stuff weeded out of her.
Her screen time was kind of separated too. It wasn't like she had like a whole 30 minutes of, well, the episode was 30 minutes. It's not like she had a whole 10-minute scene of just talking. So like it was cut up pretty well.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought she did a good job. When I heard that they cast her for this show, I was kind of dreading it. Mm-hmm. And
me too.
Yeah, and
I kind of did a sigh when she was on screen. I was like,
yeah, I was like, oh no, oh no. But I really thought she did a great job.
Who knows? Maybe Wanda's going to kill her, though. Just kidding.
All right. I think really with this one, I just thought a lot of the like background, not name characters were really, really bad in this.
Speaking of background characters, we get confirmation that the people in Westview are at least based on real people because they're finding
they are real people, because that's how this whole thing starts, was them doing a missing persons investigation.
Right, and they realize the town is missing.
Yeah.
Or, you know.
Or never exist. Or somebody wiped everyone's memory of this town.
Somebody, Wanda.
Maybe.
Maybe Mephisto.
Maybe.
There's
enough here. Like, they gave us, they didn't give us, there's enough here to keep the speculation going. And there's a lot we can speculate on.
So much we can speculate on. I'm just really mad we got to wait a whole week. Like, I love it, but it's also like, man, they could have dropped 2 episodes. Like,
I'm gonna cut this portion of it and just play this in every single podcast review we do now because you say it every week.
do I? It could be a little bit more, just like 10 minutes longer or something. I feel like you could honestly combine these episodes though. Like,
How so?
I wouldn't have mind. Like, I think it would have been a lot better if we got this episode right after the episode we got last week. Like,
You mean you want them dropped at the same time?
yeah, at the same time, like 2 episodes at a
Yeah,
time.
I feel like that's just us wanting more though, which
You're
is
probably
what
right.
you want.
You're probably right. I just feel like if it comes out that this was originally supposed to be 6 episodes and they cut it into 9, I'd believe it. Because it seems like things are kind of moved around, or you could move things around so that the episodes are more of a continuous thing.
You could, but I don't know. I know from watching, like, Netflix shows are notorious for being way too long, and you can tell the parts where it's really dragging.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, they could have easily cut this, and this. Like even the Netflix Marvel shows, like you can feel the episodes. It's like, all right, this one was because they just needed another episode.
Yeah.
I haven't felt like an episode of WandaVision, like, oh, I didn't need this, or this is a filler episode. I haven't felt that once.
No.
Yes, we can move the order of like what happens where around, but all of these beats should happen. So far anyway, I'm not feeling like, oh, this could be 6 episodes. No, not really.
Yeah, it just almost feels like we're just getting like a little bit of a taste every week, and I want to get a little bit more. And granted, we did with this, but not. I really feel like we didn't get enough. Like I wanted like at least a little bit more of. Maybe at least the transition from this sitcom they're into the next one or something. Like, we end this and they're still in their 70s get-ups, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like we got the 60s to 70s transition. I don't need a transition all the time.
Also, I just missed Vision and like Wanda.
That's
being
true.
in it.
That's
Like,
true.
you know
I
what mean?
did. Yeah, I feel that. I think that it was, and that's why I'm kind of glad that we got that both Darcy and Jimmy Woo
Yeah.
Woo they're both a bit more on the comedic side
Yeah.
to add some levity to this episode. So I thought that I thought it was good the way that they had broken that up.
Right, yeah. Okay, well, are you ready to score it?
I think I am.
Okay,
You
go
want me to
ahead. Yeah,
first?
you go first. I'm still kind of thinking about it.
Yeah, it's a hard one to score. I think I'm gonna go with a 7.
7?
I'm waffling between a 6 and a 7. I think I'm gonna go 7.
That's where I'm at too.
Just because, like I said, the acting from our leads and our main actors are good. It doesn't match what Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany were doing earlier, but it's still solid. Some of the background character acting isn't really there. This episode does feel very safe and by the book in a way that
Until that big jump scare where she turns around and Vision's just gray with his mind. I think we both jumped when that happened, right?
Yeah, it was, especially because we had seen that scene already, so I wasn't expecting it to be any different.
I was talking to one of my friends about how this is really subtly turning into like a horror movie, and they didn't really understand what I was saying by it. I think after watching this episode, they'll see. Because, like, I'm going to go ahead and give this episode a 7. I may have given it a 6 had we not gotten the little behind-the-scenes stuff that Wanda, like, we get to see Wanda being kind of psycho, and she even has a line where she's like,
I'm in control.
I've got everything under control.
Yeah.
I really feel like she's not just making all this stuff up. I think she's legit creating a universe, like a god would create a universe. Like, so I'm hoping anyway that she can bring all of this stuff into reality that's not real, so we can get Vision back. If I'm right about Quicksilver showing up, we'll get Quicksilver being pulled out into real life, you know, like. But yeah, I think a solid 7 for this episode. Definitely enjoyable. And it was paced really well too. All the acting, you know, Kat Dennings aside, and her acting wasn't bad. She was fine. She was fine. But yeah, I'd say 7, solid 7.
All right.
You want to take us out?
Sure. Thanks for watching, everybody. Tune in next week when we'll cover the next episode of WandaVision. I know I can't wait. I'm sure you guys can't either, but we'll see you then.
See you guys.
Bye.